Football fans, Spurs fans, how are we doing today? It's Saturday. Lou told me yesterday that there was a protest going on, the Brighton game and the Nottingham Forest game. To me, they're not going to work. Straight away, ENIC are pre-warned so they can arm themselves. They can arm the PR department, as it's just the minority of Spurs fans. At the same time, the actual bits and pieces, what they want to, how they want to complete their protest is a bit strange. They want to sit in protest. I don't know what that's going to achieve. TV cameras predominantly get turned off at 95 minutes, 98 minutes when the game finishes now, and they concentrate either on the next game or talking to the manager. If we have a bad shit games, then it's going to be talking to the manager. It's going to be football pundits talking about how bad Tottenham is, and you're going to get a little teeny segment about the protest, aren't you? And at the same time, it's like closing the stable door. The horse is already bolted, mate. You know, you've already paid your money to go in. That is the only thing that ENIC will listen to, is a breakdown in the revenue stream. Right? They're not going to listen to 500 people outside, 2,000 people outside chanting, yeah? Because they can PR that however they want to PR it. Oh, it's just a minority of fans. So I'm not understanding that. And at the same time, you're going to have a lot of fans who are neutral. You're going to have a lot of fans who are ENIC in as well. ENIC out, well, I don't think you're going to change the ownership, not unless you find someone who's got a spare £5.9 billion in the spare bank account and think to themselves, oh, do you know what? I fancy buying a football club. Right, so regardless of that, the ENIC out argument isn't there, is it? And they want to change. They want change for Tottenham. They want a structural change for Tottenham, a financial change for Tottenham. That protesting ain't going to do that. Not one bit is that protesting going to do that. As I said, it might highlight it for 5 minutes in the press until we have a good couple of games. Even a bad couple of games is going to totally wipe out the protest movement in one go, because then everyone's going to focus on Tottenham getting relegated and the fans are unhappy. So the protest will be one of those, oh, it's just because we're relegation. We are absolutely relegation fodder. But to hit them in the pocket, they would listen to that, wouldn't they? They would have to listen to that. Sponsors would have to listen to that. Nike, AIA would have to listen to that. See my reasoning? I'm not slagging off the protest. By all means, getting your anger out. You know, we're all heartbroken at what's happened to the football club. It's all good and well. But at the same time, I come from the perspective as, why tell Tottenham you're protesting? It's like going to war with someone saying, yeah, we're going to attack you on that army base in about 6 weeks' time at 12 o'clock. They would, like, you've just forewarned them what's going to happen. You know, that's no good. Even if you want numbers there, I know you've got to forewarn supporters so they turn up. But at the same time, what I've just said, 500 people, 2,000 people, that's not going to upset the apple cart for ENIC. You know, because you're asking people to still go in the stadium. So the revenue stream is still there. So logically speaking, you're helping. You're helping ENIC. There's no other way that I can describe this protest. It's just winding me up. I don't want to see people get upset and then think to themselves, oh, do you know what? 24 years of the last protesting ain't helped. You know what I mean? Why should I protest now? No, you should. But you should all get solidarity with it. It's all good and well having a YouTube presence of YouTubers going, I think we should all get together and fucking unify and go to this protest. All it's going to do is massage your own egos. You know, you all have 10 minutes on camera. You'll all have a little bit of content for your YouTube channels. At the minute, what I'm watching on YouTube, some bloke's already got a fucking relegation song already written on YouTube straight away. And to be honest with you, we've still got 9 games left, right, to get ourselves out of this scrap. But everyone's resigned themselves to the fact that we're getting relegated. I know, I live in reality, I'm not stupid. We've got so many games left and a lot of people can't see any wins out of those games, yeah? But you know what? I figure instead of putting maximum effort into protesting, it might be better to stave off the protesting, because if we get relegated, yeah, you might see a bit of a change. Perhaps we do need relegation, yeah? My wife says it. A lot of Tottenham YouTubers are starting to feel this way, that we need relegation to force an ownership change, because that'll hit him in the pocket, right? But just say we stay up. We can't go another year with the same merry-go-round, because what'll happen is exactly the same as what's always happened. We just scrape by, we get to next season, they put a new manager in place, we will get a couple of signings. One of them signings, I guarantee you, we will get a really good signing, right? And we will get 3 potential and 1 has been, right? And I can guarantee you, next year, there will be the same amount of injuries with whoever comes in. We'll have the same 3/4 of a squad left, and it'll be another merry-go-round, and then we'll be protesting again at the same time. But if we stay up and we boycott the first game of the season, right, a whole total boycott, that will hit him in the pocket. That will get the press coverage in, you know. That will do maximum effect. But doing it when we're in a relegation scrap, I've got a feeling it'll feed into the toxicity. And you look at the philosophy of a protest, everyone's going to get angry. And you really don't need that filtering into the club at the minute if we're staying up. Because I don't think you realise, okay, relegation might force a move on Enoch's part to think, oh, we might sell up. Right, but I'll tell you what, once we're in that relegation zone, the proper relegation zone, and if we do get relegated, yeah, can you cope with the laughing stock? Can you cope with the long term, keep getting the piss taken out of you for the next year? For people, it'll be workmates, family members. Can you cope yourself with all that, plus knowing your team's in the Championship, and let's just say half the players go, we've got to get Championship players in, and the playoffs are hard next year, and Championship next year have got VAR coming to them as well. And you know how that goes down, don't you? You know, I reckon if they didn't have the VAR going into it, we might have had a chance in the Championship. But mate, I don't want to go down. I really don't want to go down. I want to stay in the Premiership. I'm not even thinking about going down. You know, playing all these other teams, and we've got the laughing stock of it. Boy, that'd be the worst of it, wouldn't it? Oh yeah, got the best stadium in the Championship, the best training facilities in the fucking Championship. That'd go down well with everyone, doesn't it? You know what I mean? If you looked on the TikTok, YouTube, the digital media, with all the other football teams taking the absolute maximum amount of piss. Can you take the banter? Can your fragile ego YouTubers I'm talking to the YouTubers now. Can your egos take the piss taking, the bantering? Mine can. I'm as hard as fucking iron, you know what I mean? But some of you YouTubers, mate, I only have to take the piss. You go into apoplectic shock in the WhatsApp groups. You always have done. I'm worried about yous. I am physically, mentally worried about yous, bruv. Because you are Spurs brothers and sisters. I don't want you to go through that horribleness. I don't want the protesters to go and protest and feel like they've done nothing. But I feel like you're being led up a garden path. I really do. I don't know how else to explain it. That's what I'm saying. It's not like years ago where you could protest and get something done. This is a corporation, mate. This is a capitalist agenda. This is Tottenham Hotspur 2.0, 2026. The maximum revenue stream. They've just come into full maturity. They ain't going to want to listen to yous. You know, no matter what. I can see them listening at the minute to the Premiership, and they don't seem to be at all. They don't seem to be worried, do they? If they was worried about Tottenham Hotspur Football Club, they would have brought transfers in the January transfer window. No matter who, what, or where, they would have brought experienced 3 or 4 loans in that window. Instead, they sold the season previous highest goal scorer, Brennan Johnson. So they don't seem to be worried about that. Is there a plan B? There don't seem to be a plan B, does there? Sack Thomas Frank, get Igor Tudor in. And that seems a bit strange to me, that one. That move seems the most strangest move I've ever seen in my life. To bring in a manager who's never performed in the Premiership. That's one red light tick. You know, what he's done with previous clubs. He might have kept them up for a little while, but they've never done any good after that. That's another red light. The way he's talking in the press conferences, telling us that some of the players ain't on board with it all. It's another red light. He's speaking out, and at the same time, if you're Igor Tudor and you was coming into Tottenham for a job to see if you could turn things round, you've only got 13 fit first squad players to pick from. You've got more of a better squad in the injured lot than you have on the ones that are fit. And the fit lot, they're not doing nothing. Why? That's really strange. We've seen them play for a shirt in Bilbao. We've seen them play different football games with more passion. We've seen them play with more passion in Champions League than we have in the Premier League. Why is there such a turnaround for the Champions League? Is it because that's where they think their high value targets will be picked up on when we get relegated? I don't know. It's all confusing, isn't it? It's all confusing. But the protest, good luck to the protest. Because a lot of people seem to think I'm against the protest. I'm against the way that you're doing the protest, i.e. the sit-ins. I've called them hypocrites. I stand by that. You can't tell people to turn up for the protest and tell them don't buy anything at the Spurs shop, don't buy a beer, don't buy food, and then go in the stadium with your season ticket. You know, that just don't feel right, does it? Come on, boys, be honest about it. It don't feel right, does it? And girls, it don't feel right. It's never felt right when someone's done that to you. I actually believe Brian Daigle, mate, when he said, I ain't stepping foot in that stadium. I ain't paying for nothing in that stadium. He protested outside and then went fucking home. It was believable, wasn't it? Because that was honest and authentic. Well, have a good day. Take care. That was Not a little rant, just a little, the missus has gone down the gym, kids are upstairs, and I'm just sitting here on my Jack Jones, you know what I mean? And I'm fed up with watching Tottenham YouTube because it's just all relegation shit at the minute. So take care. Good health.